We have often heard that stress is the root cause of all the suffering. Stress is the root cause of all the mental and physical health issues. The spiritual people have always been saying and preaching about this, that there is something called generational trauma or generational baggage, I would say, or there is something called emotional baggage that we all carry. And they have been saying this for ages, that the emotional baggage keeps moving on from generation to generation until one brave soul takes the responsibility and let it go. What those teachings got distorted were when people somehow started understanding that generational baggage, or in Indian culture it is called as karma. It needs to be paid off. It doesn't need to be paid off, it has to be let go. And there is a big difference. Letting go is way easier. You just have to have the faith we in our body and mind's intelligence, and the innate intelligence that running into this entire creation. So everything is working intelligently except human beings, because human beings have a choice to let go of the generational baggage or not. And depending on what choice we as a human being make, we will be able to, that's how our life will be designed. And that's why we have the power, we have the choice to design our life. And it's all that inner, it's all inside. So it is not about doing more or being or putting more effort. It's about training our own mind, evolving our own mind, uh, evolving the capabilities of our own mind. And how? So first of all, for that we will have to understand what the impact which happens in our brain because of this survival mode, because of having the emotional baggage. So in this slide, what I'm showing is our brain's anatomy, and it comprises of three major parts. The upper layer, which is the cortex and the prefrontal cortex, this is responsible for our creativity, rational decision making, our logical thinking. The midbrain, it is responsible for bonding, reward perception. And the lower brain, it is responsible for, it is the called, also called the reptilian brain, which is responsible for temperature regulation, threat response, and its most important function is to activate the survival mode. So whenever our human brain experience any sort of threat, it activates the survival mode right away, which means, what it means is, all the energy then goes into performing all those survival activities, which means our brain thinks, I have to now be ready to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And this reflects in our body, because then we start building our muscles, because and it's a slow gradual process, but it happens. So when we live in a constant emotional threat or any situation that is toxic to us, our brain thinks, I'm not safe. And when we experience this slow, it could be slow experience of slow abuse, belittling, fear, guilt, shame. So it keeps us, that fight or flight keeps getting aroused. And what happens then when the flight or flight is aroused? The energy is not really sent to the mid or the upper layer of the brain, which means the brain thinks that the creativity, rational decision making, logical thinking, all this is not important right now. I have to survive. So all my energy should be focused on survival, should be only sent to the lower part of the brain, which is going to activate, the threat response. And the threat response is the way when we do not really live into our happiest state, our fully functional state. So that's where the neuro pathways start breaking down, because it is our brain's decision, and it happens because our brain thinks, I am in an emotional threat. So our brain cannot differentiate between an emotional threat or an actual threat. And for our brain, to perform its normal activities, its everyday activities of our brain are logical thinking, rational thinking, creativity, analytical skills, planning, visualization, organization, uh, communication. These are our natural activities of our brain. But when our brain lives into constant threat situation, then it starts deactivating all those parts of the brain. The neuro pathway starts deactivating, the hormonal imbalance start happening in body, because the body develops a lot of stress response, and the brain also has a lot of cortisol. Body also starts having a lot of cortisol, because everything starts getting ready for the fight or flight. And this starts, then it becomes a normal way of generations to function. So a lot of generations on our planet, they are functioning into this fight or flight state for ages, and they don't realize that whatever their behavior trait, the way they are coping, or whatever adaptations they have got, because this fight or flight state then start reflecting into every aspect of our being, the way we talk, the way we think. Because it's like, you have to understand that our brain's thinking capability has been is just start shrinking down, and that is why we experience so many issues. And because we never do this inner work of letting it go, it starts reflecting in the form of stress. Because our brain cannot as I said, it cannot differentiate between an emotional threat or an actual physical threat. And our brain is designed to keep us safe. So whenever it gets triggered, so if you are living if in a constantly in a toxic relationship, and you are constantly getting triggered, your brain is getting the message, I'm not safe, let me stop all other activities and let me just activate my survival response. I have to only generate the energy to survive. I do not want to thrive at the moment. Thriving is thrown out of the window, and this has been happening over the generation. And this is why energy healing is so important, because what it does is it starts making us safe within our own physiology. So when and then all those triggers we have to that's why we have to self retrospect that why I'm getting triggered, because the trigger is always inside. It is always coming from that emotional baggage and not really from the outside. So when nothing is coming from the outside, and you know that it's not someone else is making you angry, frustrated, tired, fatigued. It is our own mind, our own minds functioning is making us tired, fatigued. Uh, in a everyday life, we start feeling tired and fatigued because we have got these survival adaptations from our ancestors, from our grandparents, from their grandparents, from their parents. We have got our brains is functioning into survival. And that is why it is so important for us to start doing the healing work, because healing will start making us healing starts building self love, healing starts making us our own safe space, and it is physiological shift. So as soon as your brain start feeling absolutely safe, it starts reactivating all these functions. So because there is nothing wrong with our brain's anatomy or its design, the hardware is working absolutely fine. It's only about the software needs to be configured and programmed, and then after that it takes long time for our brain to trust us. That is why it's important that our brain wants us to show it that I am now safe. So, which means I am not going to focus on any of those emotional triggers that's happening, and I'm going to reflect deeply on what is a real threat for me and what is not a real threat for me. And when our brain thinks that yes, I'm absolutely safe now, let me activate my thriving mode, let me reconfigure, and it starts working. It 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 takes long time for your brain to trust yourself and to change all that fight or flight adaptations. It takes time because it is linked, our brain is linked to our body. So if our body is sending threat signal because it has been programmed like that for ages, and we have got that programming from our parents, then our brain still will feel that I'm not safe. So it starts happening on its own, but you have to create that safe space for your own self. And that is all the goal of the healing is all about. So, in my next slide, I want to say what starts happening. And it's not about that we have to think a lot, but you have to just start understanding. So, when we are having, and on a scale of 1 to 10, different people function differently in this survivor mode. So, not everyone's brain is functioning into this fully survival mode. It starts deactivating slowly and gradually. But it could be possible that because our grandparents or our ancestors have been through a lot of stress, poverty, and there is so much happened in the past, we might have just got those fight or flight adaptations in our brain, and we are functioning at a very low level of our brain's capacity. So how to increase this brain's capacity? We can only increase the brain's capacity once we start going through this inner healing work. And it's very simple. So stress is the root cause. Relaxation, the deeper nervous system relaxation, is the way to start reverting our brain's fight or flight adaptations. uh, so impacts when our brain goes into this fight or flight. Now we don't really see the impact, but it starts impacting the coordination between our brain and body. So many process, healing, nurturing process of our body starts to stop, and the same happens inside our brain as well. Logical thinking, analytical thinking will be impacted, it will be impaired. So your child might not really born with the proper brain functioning, and that is why you are forcing your child that see how the other child is performing, how well he is performing, but his brain is functioning at a different level, and your child's brain is functioning at a different level, and you are creating more and more stress. So what is going to happen? Your child's brain is going to start shrinking itself down, and that's what happened in families. We see that one sibling is performing so well and the other one is not performing so well because one has got a heavy load of emotional baggage from, and it is coming from you, it is coming from us as a parents, it is coming from our grandparents, and not everyone's brain is functioning at the same level. So it impacts the memory, coordination, storage and retrieval of our memory, processing of information, planning, organization, visualization skills, creative skills. You see, because you function with a lot of stress within your nervous system, within your physiology, you can't see this. No one can see that you are functioning with a lot of stress. You can, only your behaviors will be able to tell. A child who is very quick, who is very good in mathematical skills, who is very listening everything actively, is actually in a very happy and balanced state of mind. And a child who is constantly feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, not able to focus, not paying attention, and always run away from all the analytical skills, or they don't want to read, or don't want to put effort. They need to work on their mind first. They need to, those children must be given this healing space, and parents, instead of um comparing them with other kids, they have to start doing this inner work. So it is something for parents and children, for both. It is so necessary. And to understand what is your child's flow state, to understand what is going to bring your child's brain back from survival to the thriving mode. So you as a parent, we as a parent have to understand this, and we have to understand it for our own self as well. Now emotional triggers are different for different people. For me, something is an emotional trigger, it might not be an emotional trigger for you, but I have to start taking that stand for myself. So before you start pushing your kids, you have to start, we as a parent, we must start doing this inner work first. So when the survival mode is activated, that is why we start having hormonal imbalance and the neuro pathways, brain inflammation, we say, and the entire flow, energy flow starts obstructing. And the because our brain is not really thinking of anything that is thriving, evolving, nurturing. um, it's like healing ourselves or bringing new, everything starts shrinking down, our thinking starts shrinking down. And that is why mental health issues are something that must be taken with so much seriousness. And this results in the sense perception issues. So sensory issues might happen in children, and that is why we are seeing autism spectrum disorder, ADHD so much on the rise, OCD. Children are born with so much generational baggage, and their brain is functioning into severe levels of survival. So if on a scale of 10, a child who is born with ADHD and ASD, his or her brain is functioning at say number 9 to 10, which means high to severe level of fight or flight adaptations. And this is all generational baggage, this is all emotional threat, this is all stress that is getting manifested and magnified in our children, because we as a parent have never done, never understood, and never let go the emotional baggage we have been holding on. And the same goes for our grandparents and our parents, our grandparents. Now in they were not having this level of awareness, but now we have, and we can start taking the action right now and trust in our bodies and minds intelligence. It is a very intelligent device which we have got, a very intelligent instrument, but the choice is ours. Are we going to hold on to the emotional baggage, are we going to hold on to the stress, or are we going to release it? That's the difference. And that's the choice which spiritual people have been saying for ages, that you have the choice, you make your destiny. Because you will see that eventually, once you keep doing this inner work, and there is a holistic approach to this inner work, but once you keep doing this, keep doing this, keep doing this, you will reach to a state where your brain starts feeling absolutely safe within itself, and it will activate the thriving mode. And that is why the spiritual ancient practices are the only way to achieve this. You cannot achieve this with medications, we cannot achieve this with even therapies. Everything works at an outside level. So the inner level, your inner nervous system, you have to start working on these deeper aspects of your own nervous system. So this is, there's still a lot into this, and hope this makes sense to all of you, and you start feeling that this is something that's logical, and this is something that we all need. And in all the cultures, especially in Indian society, this has been, spiritual people have been saying this for ages, that inner happiness is different than outside happiness. Don't just run behind outside at achievements, also look within. Are you really feeling joy? Because joy will only come when your brain will see that yes, I am joyful. And we are all born with emotional baggage, all of us. It just depends on, some people are born with very heavy load of emotional baggage, and some people are born with less load of emotional baggage. So the people who are born with less load of emotional baggage, they are able to function, they function very effectively in the world. And that's why we see so many people who are born with creative skill, logical skills. And there are children who are always, you will see that one, that few shining stars, because their brain is not, has not got so much of emotional baggage. But it doesn't mean that children who are born, who are not able to perform, they will never be able to perform. Trust our own mind's intelligence. This is an intelligent power. A very intelligent power is working throughout this creation. And this is a high time when we must start looking into this aspect and start digging it out deeper. And the more you dig out, the more you will gain on this path. And it's not just about information, it is about practice. You have to start building your own practices to for your inner happiness. And there are a lot of things. So holistic healing approaches work as a standalone way to manage our physical and mental health issues. And that is what my mission is, to bring awareness on all these ancient healing techniques. So go for medications, go for everything. Like, do not, it doesn't mean that we don't have to, uh, we should not resort to medications, we should not resort to diet, exercise. That is all very, very important. But we have to also understand that we are here to evolve our brain's capacities, and our inner happiness. We are here to do everything with joy, and that joy we cannot experience until our brain doesn't feel safe. It's all linked to our brain's inner happiness and the nervous system, our central nervous system, how effectively everything is working within our central nervous system is what going to change everything. So thank you so much. Hope this is going to help you, and you will start taking seriously all the work which BK Shivani ma'am is saying, Sadhguru is saying. They are all saying you that you have to look within yourself for happiness. And in India, like, we have seen so many spiritual people always talking about inner happiness, inner happiness. And this is why they are talking about inner happiness, because they knew that most of us are not working, our brain is not working at its fullest capacity. And that is why when we start doing the inner work, and there it is, as I said, it's a process. Once you start learning this, and once you start going deep within yourself, you start seeing inner transformation, and everything starts happening on its own. So your communication, your logical skills, your ability to perform in the world without getting stressed depends on your own physiology, depends on how best your mind is working for its own self and for your body. So your mind is responsible to take care of your mind and your body. And until and unless your mind is not feeling safe, it's going to always keep you in this survival loop. That is what is the goal of spiritual healing practices are, to make you thrive in the world, to alter your survival adaptations, and to give you, that is how so many people you see, they are so balanced. They, everything happens through them naturally without, and they don't take stress. And why that is happening? Because their brain is functioning at at its best. At least it is functioning on a scale of 1 to 10, it's functioning in level 1 2 3. So they don't get that much stressed by and they have very good planning, organization, visualization skills, and they perform very well without getting stressed and overwhelmed. And that's the difference. So if you are struggling at the moment, and if you are seeing that your mental capabilities are going down, or your physical health is going down, or you are adapting to unhealthy habits, you are resorting to unhealthy habits, or you are resorting to uh, to this fight or flight behaviors, which means you are getting a lot of agitation, frustration, or you are feeling stuck within yourself, and you are not really able to take the action for your own self, and not really feeling free and happy, then inner work is the answer to all that. Thank you. I think, yeah, I would just end it over here.